All right, it might take me just a second because I have, let's see. All right, hold on one second. Y'all will have to tell me what you see once I share this because I have 3 screens and I usually don't have 3 screens. So there's something different on every single one. Let's make sure it's actually going to be the right thing. Okay. All right. Do you see gratitude and well-being presentation? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, perfect. All right. Let me. Computer's being really slow this morning. Okay. Okay, one more question, super quick. Is the screen that you're seeing now like the presentation view or like the full slide thing?
Now we see the presentation view. We just saw the other one.
Okay, perfect. I never know which one's going to come up as. All right, is that the right one? Okay, awesome, perfect. Okay, well, after that technical difficulty, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you before now, my name is Lauren Shelor, and I'm a health educator for employees with Hokie Wellness. So what I have for you this morning is themed around maybe a weekend that most of us just came off of maybe practicing some extra gratitude and just thinking about all the ways that we're thankful. So I thought it would be nice to just kind of continue that this morning, just continue that train of thought and have some opportunities for reflection around the practice of gratitude. So that's what I plan to talk about this morning. I do have just a couple of just like little introduction slides with some information about the benefits of practicing gratitude, some of which many of you have probably already heard before, but never hurts to kind of reiterate. So one of the things that's really nice about having a consistent and regular gratitude practice is that it really can help us move through adversity with resilience. So kind of having this foundational posture of gratitude changes often the way that we're viewing challenges and difficulties and can help us frame those as opportunities for growth, or just kind of seeing adversity through a lens of opportunities to build resilience. And so it can kind of change our perspective in a positive way. Gratitude on a consistently practiced basis really starts to direct our focus to what we have versus what we lack. And particularly in seasons of uncertainty, constant change, many of which we've been through over the last couple of years, it can be really grounding practice for seasons like that. And then kind of goes without saying, the research shows us that folks who practice gratitude regularly generally report increased levels of happiness and positive emotions and even improves sleep quality. And then when gratitude is practiced kind of in an external way, kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Navigating that gratitude outward to other people, it can really strengthen interpersonal relationships and drive connection. And then from a very physiological standpoint, it can reinforce neurotransmitter pathways in your brain, literally rewiring your brain in a good way. And it can particularly reinforce the neurotransmitter pathways that dopamine and serotonin rely on to do their jobs well. So what I wanted to talk about today is kind of, if you looked at those benefits and you were like, wow, I'd love to, be happier, get better sleep, or even just move through resilience and adversity in a kind of different, more productive way, then I would love to just share a few ideas of how you might begin to weave gratitude into your day as a daily practice. Most of us I think when we think about practicing gratitude, we generally go to like writing in a journal, maybe writing 3 things a day that you're grateful for, 1 thing a day. And that's one idea. But there are also lots of other ways to practice gratitude too, and kind of weave those into your daily life. So these are just really simple ideas. I'll share about 3 or 4 simple ideas with you. And I would encourage you to not let the simplicity of these tips discount their ability to really make a powerful impact on your well-being. And so the first thing that I wanted to highlight that is a little bit different than having a gratitude journaling practice is to go for a gratitude walk. And so taking gratitude walk is a great way to weave gratitude into your day and get some fresh air and movement, all of which are so beneficial for well-being too. And so one way to do this is just to choose your favorite trail, maybe like a trail that's really familiar to you if you're on campus or off campus, wherever, it doesn't matter, or a brand new trail that you haven't walked before. You can even do this strolling around your building. It doesn't have to be anywhere fancy. And just the point is, while you're walking, to just look around you, just kind of reflect inward and outward and think about what you're grateful for. You can kind of pick out specific elements in nature to extend gratitude towards. So, if you're walking by the duck pond and the water is especially sparkly that day, then just kind of making a note, I'm grateful for that. And maybe I'm noticing it in a way that I wouldn't have if I was like on my phone or tuned into technology. If you're particularly thankful for the way the clouds look that day or the sunshine or the warmth outside. And those are all certainly things you can extend gratitude outward for. So it's great to do this without technology if you can, but there are certainly, great guided meditation practices that you can also kind of plug into as you're doing a gratitude walk. And it's really easy to Google those and kind of find some examples of those. Headspace has some great ones as well. And so if this sounds like something that would be an accessible way for you to begin practicing gratitude more and something that you'd enjoy, you can kind of just pick a day within the next week or so and try to schedule it on your calendar. If there's someone who might like to join you on a walk and you would enjoy their company, can maybe do this with a colleague or a friend. So just one idea for how to practice gratitude. This next one sounds so simple, but I love it and really powerful when practiced consistently, and it really can strengthen relationships in a great way. So it's been said that extending gratitude outwards to others is a gift to the person that you're extending gratitude to, obviously, but it's also a profound gift to yourself because you're nurturing your own well-being in the process. So that benefit really goes both ways. It's strengthening connection in your relationship, and it's kind of tapping into that sense of purpose in yourself, service to others, which is really important for well-being as well. Connection is something that I think many folks over the last couple of years have been maybe struggling with in the workplace, especially as we've all been kind of working in different places. Some of us were working in different places even before. And so connection is definitely something I think, we could always be useful to strengthen. So this is just a way to foster that. So if you need some ideas for how to get started, like who in the world do I write a thank you note to? There's a few ideas here. So maybe a colleague, even a student that may just need a note of encouragement as the semester kind of winds up to an end soon. Maybe your coffee barista, maybe you come armed with a pre-written thank you note for your favorite coffee barista, your server at a restaurant, maybe your child's teacher, family member, even a professor or mentor who's impacted your life in some way. So again, the thing about sending your gratitude outward is that even though it's directed at someone else, and it certainly will probably positively impact their well-being, it impacts yours as well by fostering that sense of purpose. So there are just some ideas in case you want to write a thank you note this week. And then this is, there's a lot on the slide, but this is kind of a more abstract way of thinking about gratitude rather than like an actual daily practice like journaling or writing a note or taking a walk. But I think this is really important because we talked about, earlier in the presentation, how having a posture of gratitude as you move throughout your days can be really powerful in helping you reframe challenges. And so this, from a very practical note, is just kind of a practice of having a mindset shift that solidifies in you over time as you practice it more. So this is like a mindset shift that will happen again with practice as you begin to direct your focus to gratitude when you face challenges. And it can take some intentionality and mindfulness to really remember to do this, but when you can get into the habit of reframing things this way and thinking this way, it can really be quite powerful. So what I mean by that is taking some of like the thoughts or the phrases that we may often find ourselves saying or thinking and flipping it around and exploring how we can kind of use it for growth. So another term for this kind of work is having a growth mindset. So we may find ourselves saying something like maybe we faced a challenge of some sort. We may say something like, this challenge is a huge setback and it's going to be really hard to bounce back from. And although that may be true, a way to flip that and kind of reframe it with growth at the center might be, okay, this challenge is challenging, but what's one positive, productive, or helpful thing that I can glean from this to help me grow? Another example, and I put this one in here towards the first of the semester when everything was a little bit more uncertain, but maybe we find ourselves saying, everything about the semester feels really uncertain. It's constantly shifting. It's stressing me out. A way to reframe that may be, while the future may very well be uncertain, and I probably can't know what life will look like in 3 to 4 months from now, what do I know to be true in this moment today? And what can I hold gratitude for today? And then the last example, which probably most of us can relate to at some point in some semester, is my to-do list just feels insurmountable. I'm burnt out, maybe exhausted, and I just want to give up. A kind of helpful reframe with gratitude and growth at the focus may be, it is completely understandable that I feel this way. I acknowledge and validate those feelings, the overwhelm and the burnout. And I'm thankful that my body and my mind are letting me know that I need to take a moment to slow down. So if I tune in and pay attention, what's my body telling me that it needs right now? And you can kind of see the difference in how those reframes kind of help us move forward, maybe in a more productive way. And so we're not necessarily invalidating any of the feelings that we're having. Those are important, but we're just kind of flipping it around a little bit so that growth comes out of it. So just another way to kind of weave this into your day-to-day. And so all of our practices that we've gone over so far have been kind of, I guess, non-traditional or ways to practice gratitude that we don't often maybe think of initially. And now we're going to talk about one that most of us have probably thought of or heard about before, and that's gratitude journaling. So this can be particularly useful when you can book into your day with writing about gratitude whether that's in a physical journal or a notes app on your phone or a post-it note or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So this practice can be helpful any time of the day, but especially like first thing in the morning or last thing of the day, last thing in the evening as we replace maybe scrolling our phones, looking at our phones first thing in the morning or checking email. A practice like this can be a very grounding way to start and end the day. So even if it is just one line a day in a notes app or a physical journal, whatever it may be, this can be very powerful. Even if we're just setting aside 5 minutes to write about maybe specific things or people or places or experiences that we're grateful for, it can be a really helpful practice for our well-being. So I wanted to set aside maybe 4 or 5 minutes this morning for folks to practice. This practice is totally optional, but I wanted to give folks some prompts just to take a few moments and think about, what you're grateful for. So I've included a few prompts here. Certainly don't have to use these. You can write about anything you'd like. But some examples might be, you can write about a happy memory. You can write about an accomplishment that you're proud of. You can kind of think through how have you grown in strength and resilience this year and write about that. Or even, thinking about a person who's helped you through a challenging time and kind of what their kindness meant to you and can write about that. Certainly, if you have another prompt that resonates with you, feel free to kind of use that. So if you have a piece of paper, I probably should have put this in the notes on the sign-up sheet for this, that folks should have something to write with, but hopefully it's not too hard to find. If you have a just piece of paper, a notebook, if you would like to journal digitally, even in like a Word document or a Google document, or even on your phone in a notes app, again, totally fine. So I am going to set a timer for about 5 minutes, and I just will stop talking for that amount of time and give folks an opportunity to journal whatever feels right. Again, it's totally optional. And then I will check back in about 5 minutes. And then if anyone would like to share, we'll just have a short opportunity to do that. So everyone can kind of go ahead and get started, and I'll check back in about 5 minutes. Okay, that was a very quick 5 minutes, but hopefully you're able to kind of gather some thoughts and get those down on paper or electronically. I don't want anyone to feel any pressure to share at all, but just did want to hold some space for folks to share if you would like. Would anyone like to share something that you're holding gratitude for, or kind of what you wrote in relation to one of the prompts on the screen this morning? I'll just hold a couple moments of space for that in case anyone would like to share. All right. Well, just to kind of round things out this morning, I love to end things with this quote from Melody Beatty. I think it sums up things really great in terms of gratitude. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity, and it makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So what I would leave you with today is just something to reflect on and think about as you begin your day, is what is one way that you can weave gratitude into your life, maybe in a more consistent way in the next 2 weeks. If this resonated with you, of course, if it didn't, then it's okay if you don't want to weave gratitude in. But if it did, just kind of thinking about, what can I add to my calendar for just 5 minutes a day that allows me to kind of get present and think about, how to go inward in terms of a gratitude practice, or go outward with a gratitude practice by extending that to other folks. So just something to think about today as you begin your day. Just anything, wanted to hold space. If anyone has anything to add, if you have a particular gratitude practice that you like, that you would like to share that wasn't mentioned here today, or any thoughts at all, I'll just hold a couple seconds of space for that as we wrap up. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope that your week is filled with good things to hold gratitude for. And yeah, as we kind of finish out this semester and things may get a little hectic, just remember to, be thankful, stay grounded. If there's anything that we can ever do to support you in Hokie Wellness, we are always, always here. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.